Guys, you see, trading gold can be quite difficult, and if you don't know what you're doing, uh, you're going to just be losing money, right? Because gold is really a volatile market, right? And so you need to be sure of what you're doing on the charts. You can't just trade carelessly. And so that's why we do these videos, to guide you guys in the new week, right? So make sure to watch this video to the end to see how we're going to be trading gold in this new week. Now, currently, last week we're already in on the buy, which we're still holding. And let's do the top down analysis, right? Let's start from the monthly time frame. Now, this is the monthly charts, as we can see, and as always, like we've been saying for the past how many months now, gold is still very bullish. Okay, but since in the month of April, I told you how the gold was most likely going to slow down, right? And as you can see, since the month of April, for the past 4 months or so, gold has been moving sideways, right? It has been consolidating around this level. And that's not a surprise for me, because I actually called this and I talked about this since the month of April, and I anticipated that this was what was going to happen. In fact, in the month of June, I told you guys that in the month of July, that is most likely we're going to be seeing a bearish close or a red candle in the month of July, which I was actually anticipating. And I spoke about all this. You can go watch our previous video, right? So now, what do we expect in this new month? Now, it's very possible that in the month of August, we might see a further drop. Even though I'm currently in on a buy at around this very low point, right? I'm in on this push up right now because I saw the opportunity. I talked about it last week, right? But I strongly believe that in the month of August, we're going to see a further drop, right? And gold might drop to as low as, who knows, first of all, to 3247 level, and probably even lower to as low as 3123 level. That could happen, right? But first of all, gold would have to probably go up to a significant point where it can now drop from, which would be around the 50% level of this previous month candle, which is around 3362, where gold is currently at, or even push higher. So we're going to be looking for selling opportunities from this entire range where gold is at right now, right? But I think I'm going to wait for gold to push higher just a little bit more. Then we watch and see what happens. Okay, we don't just get in on a trade just because we say if gold gets to a certain point, gold will most likely drop. Doesn't mean that once gold gets into that point, we just go in on the sell or go in on the buy blindly, right? We have to wait for certain confirmations. We have to wait for certain signals, right? Once those things present itself, then we get in on the trade, right? We don't just jump in back blindly. So let's see what happens within this entire range in this month, from 3365 level where it's currently at to around 3443 level. Let's see what happens, right? If we see a good opportunity for a sell around this entire range, we're going to take the sales, and hopefully gold might drop. But mind you, because gold is generally bullish, we could see, I have to be fast, because gold is generally bullish, we could actually see gold just do the impossible, right? And that's why, even though we see selling opportunities, we always have to stick to majorly looking for buying opportunities. And when we see those buying opportunities, we can hold them, right? Because gold can do the impossible. We could just see gold all of a sudden just break this entire level and just push higher. And then all of a sudden, we see that the entire bullish move has resumed, all right, instead of the expected drop that I'm anticipating. So gold could just do anything. We are not the ones that control and decide what happens on the charts. We only use the information given to us to come up with probable, uh, you know, different possibilities of what could actually happen on the charts, and then we go in when we see the opportunity. All right. So this is what I see on the monthly. We're going to wait for price and see what price does in this entire level up here, and wait to see if we see any selling opportunity. Right. But currently, we are in on some buys. You can go watch our previous videos. So let's go to the weekly. Let's go to the weekly time. Spend so much time trying to explain all that to you guys. Hope you guys are getting this. Now, on the weekly, we can clearly see that last week I told you guys after this bearish close, which I anticipated that this is what was going to happen, right? After this bearish close, I told you guys that we're looking for gold to push up to the 50% level of that week's candle, which is around 3387 or what? Yeah, 3379 level thereabout, or 3380 level. All right, and this entire range, right? That if we see a selling opportunity from there, we would sell from there. But instead, gold just started dropping immediately, right? And we saw an opportunity there, but didn't take the sell. So as gold dropped, we now saw gold came into this level which we talked about, and we said gold would get into this level, and once gold gets there, we could see opportunities from there. And once gold got here, we saw the opportunities for a buy. And sorry about the noise in the background. And we saw the opportunity for a buy, and we took it, right? So let me just continue without the drawings to bring it up later. So now gold now has begun to push up, so we're going to wait for price to get into that zone, and we're going to see, like we said, we're going to wait for the selling opportunities and to present itself. In this new week now, what we can see is that gold is already pushing up, is beginning to push up, right? So we can look for buying opportunities first. You could look for buying opportunities, right? Like we said, we're already in on some buys at around this level, right? So we're holding it. Now gold could most likely come back down a little bit to the 50% level of this previous week, right? And then we could see push-ups from there. So it might not even reach the 50% level. It might start to push up from somewhere around here, 3337, which we can see a support right there, right? So we could see gold start to push up from around there. Now let me bring up the drawings so you see this. So we could see gold start to push up from around this level. So we just mark that, and let's draw the 50% level so we see what it's like. So this is the 50% level right here. So we'll be looking for price to get down into that zone most likely. But if gold doesn't come down into this level, then we might see rejections from around here, right? So let's go to a lower time frame to see what this thing looks like, right? So if price gets into this level, then we could, if price gets into this level, then we could go in for our buys, right, into this entire zone. So let's go to the daily. Yeah, so this is what we have here. So as you can see now, things are looking better, right? So this is what we have. So we're going to wait for price, and as you can see, you see this bullish rejection upwards, right? So this is a clear indication that price is really pushing up, right? And so we can expect price to come down, to drop, come back down to test the support level, and then push up from there. All right, and as you can see, this entire level here was a support level that we marked out on the weekly, this first level here, and this level is the 50% level. And as you can see, that happens to be a key level as well, right? So and you can see this was where this buy started from. So when price gets into this zone, we'll most likely see a rejection upwards. And so this is looking quite good on the daily. I like how this is looking. Let's go to the 4-hour. Let's see if you can see things better. Yes, now we can see things better, right? We can clearly see that there is an inverse heads and shoulders pattern that has formed right here, right guys? Can you see this? We can clearly see that there's an inverse heads and shoulders that's formed right here. Let me draw this for you so we can see something of this nature, right? And we can see the price broke it. Okay, and so it's very possible that we could see price drop somewhere into this entire box and then push up from there, right? So that makes sense. We could say this entire level is the neckline, right? And if you see here, this was the reason I got in on this trade, right? If you see here on the 4-hour, but if you go to the 1 hour, you see it better. If you look here, you'd see how this particular candle broke this entire level, right? As it broke this neckline, it came back down, tested it, and you can see it pushed up. And I taught this in one of our videos. I mean, I mostly use this pattern most of the time. This is how I get most of my sniper entries and my great trades. So as I saw this, I knew that, oh, this is going to go up, right? So but let's just continue. When we go to the 1 hour, we'll see things better there. So now looking at the 4-hour here, we can expect price to drop. Now, like I said, price might not drop as low as this point. It might drop somewhere here, and we could start to see rejections from here at this entire level, right? We could start to see rejections from here. In fact, price might just start to reject from somewhere here and then go up. You just need to pay attention to the chart and see what's happening and wait for the opportunities to present itself, right? Or price could just start rejecting from here. But most importantly, once we see price gets into this 50% level, right, and we start to see a rejection, then that means that rejection is going to be a much more solid one, right? Because it has gotten into the 50% level, right? So we're just going to wait and see what happens and wait for the opportunities to present itself to us. So that's it, guys. Let's go to the 1 hour. Let's see if you can see anything. And then if you look here, you can see this entire region on this 4 hour is a fair value gap, right? And you guys know what they say about fair value gaps. Now this just happened to break this level right here, right? So you can call this a change of character, right? That's what some of you would call this, a change of character. And this is you can call this a breakage structure, and here's a change of character, right? And so price could come back down into this entire fair value gap where there is a demand level in this entire area and then push up from there. So that makes sense. Let's go to the 1 hour. Let's see what it looks like. Now on the 1 hour charts, I need to reduce this. Now looking at the 1 hour charts, what can we see? We can see the heads and shoulders we talked about earlier in the 4 hour, right? You can see this. Let's draw that again for you guys. And price broke this, came back down, tested it, and pushed up. So that's it. Okay. So you can say, like we said, this is the neckline, right? And price has broken that already. Okay. So price might not come back down all the way to this point because it already tested it here, right? So price might just, like we already said earlier in the 4 hour chart, 4 hour time frame, price will just most likely bounce from this entire area. We will see a rejection and a bounce from this entire area. Once we start seeing the rejections that we need, we can now get in for our trades. So for our trade, so I think that's that. I think it's quite clear. It's quite clear. I remember I told you gold could as well just bounce from somewhere here and just start pushing up. That could happen, right? So it's just about you watching the charts and see how the candle, see what the candle formations are looking like, right? And then you now know what you're going to do. So that's what I'm just going to be doing. I'm going to be waiting and see how everything plays out. But currently we're in on our buys already, so we're holding it to see how everything plays out. Somewhere around here we entered, and yeah, if I'm right, somewhere around here that's where we entered. So let's see how it goes. So that's it, guys. I do hope you have an amazing trading week. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video, share with people. If you're getting value here, let us know in the comments. We're doing our best to help you guys here. And so, like we also said, let me just put this in. Don't forget, when we buy, price could, let's go back to the daily. When we buy, or when you get in on this buy, you need to be very careful of this level, right? Because you can see this level has rejected. It has this level has been a very strong level for some time. Price has been pushing downwards from there, so it's very possible that once price gets into this zone, we might see rejections from there again downwards, right? Like we said, we are most likely anticipating a further drop, so that could happen from that level. So it's possible. So if we see the opportunities also present itself for sell, we're going to take it. Okay, if we don't, then we're going to let gold do its thing and probably break it. And if it does that, then gold might be looking to even go higher. Who knows? So let's see how everything plays out, guys. That's it for this week. Do have an amazing trading week. Peace out, guys.